Hello.
You. Test.
Turn on. So the light. And now it's live.
Okay, welcome everybody. I'm going to see you need to say welcome back because last week we didn't meet. I think that's like the first time in years I remember the club didn't meet because we had a 4th of July celebration and a bunch of us were on the holiday 4th of July cruise and the rest of you literally missed the boat. It was great. So mark your calendars for next year. So we've got some important stuff. I'm going to go through these really quickly because everybody's just chomping at the bit for our first competition of the year. So this is very important. Those nobody can watch us at home right now, but if they're watching the recording tomorrow, Sunday, whatever, we only have until a week from tonight to register for the Mansfield Reformatory, which is one of our key field trips. Different things, situations such as they need to have advanced knowledge, like more than 2 weeks, to have employees there to get us through. So we're having to cut the registration off a little early. So if you've never been, you need to go. I counted 33 different movies or TV episodes have been filmed part or in whole at Mansfield Reformatory. So and I like Air Force One is the greatest, the best one. So anyway, it's $30 and we opened it to everybody right off the shoot now. So not just members. Tomorrow morning at 6:30, you're going to get an email. If you lost the email that we sent you, you're going to get another email that's got a registration link on it to take you to PayPal to pay for that. We don't take any money at the door, so you got to pay through the site. The great thing about this is we have it to ourselves for 4 hours. We've got tripods, we can use flash, we can do light painting. The only thing they're preventing, and you need to read through the rules, but they're preventing drones and models. So unless you have a model that's a drone, I don't know if that works. Anyway, so sign up. We really want to go to that. The next big one, these are like our two premium field trips for the year, is the air show. And that's going to be open. It's $36.50. It's right now it's only members plus one guest. If we don't sell out for whatever days, then after July 28th, we'll open to non-members. And then registration closes completely August 15th. You need to know a couple things. You have to arrange for parking on your own. And there's explicit instructions on the link that you're going to sign up on that for how to go about that. You can either park somewhere on your own or you can buy a parking pass through the air show people. The ticket pickup, we're not mailing any tickets out. There's going to be 3 nights, 2 Fridays and 1 Wednesday that I'll be here to hand out tickets. So you have to be able to arrange to get the tickets picked up here. Yes. 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 They're going to give you something. They talk about your tickets for the air show being on your phone or in paper. We're going to print them out and give those to you. I honestly have to plead ignorance on what they're going to give you, but there's specific instructions to talk to them. Have you done it before? Okay. So there's specific instructions and numbers to call if you want to buy your parking through the air show. And they'll tell you what you're going to have. Yes. Yeah. You just tell them you have a ticket. You tell them that you have a ticket through CPS, and then they'll arrange parking for you if you want to buy it from them. This Sunday, we have another field trip, Whispering Acres Farm, and Kim, who I think is actually cutting a mat somewhere, is just knocking it out of the park with all of these. Now, has said, don't wear your Sunday best and wear, shoes that you could step in stuff with. But I don't know. She's sitting on the ground speaking with a pig, so I don't know. But there's a $20 donation requested. And there's still one exhibit we have going right now that's running through August 10th, that black and white exhibit out at Heights Arts. And there's one more exhibit, unless you can do this on your phone, it closes tonight at 9. So that exhibit is going to be closed after tonight. A week from tonight, we have Ken Hubbard, who is got a fantastic website. He's going to be here in person, and he's going to be talking about travel photography, like what do you do before you get in the car or on the plane? What equipment do you take? What do you do when you get back with the pictures? I've looked at his website, and they're just outstanding. So he'll be here in person next week. And then we've got mat cutting. I think they're doing some mat cutting tonight. But next Tuesday, we're going to have mat cutting here because you're going to want to do that because 2 weeks from tonight, we have our Nature First Print competition. And our mats are at a good price, and you can learn how to cut your own. Our special interest group this month, we skipped last month, But in August 7th, Dave Bush is going to be talking about the care and feeding of your expensive digital camera. I think we're going to fill the room on that one. I know I need to know how to do that. Please, please, we're getting kind of squeezed for room around here if you look at where pictures are stored. So the new images of the year are up on the wall, which means if you had an image of the year that was up from last year, it is down in one of the boxes below the back wall. If you had a submission that didn't make it, it's also there. And then in the racks that are against the other wall by the hall there are any exhibit prints that have come down because we took Porter down. So if you've got any prints here that are done, please move them out for us. And so now we're going to move into our pictorial competition. Let me get the lights here. Yes, I have a question? Okay. All right. Well, okay. See me after. I'll keep a box. I'll keep a box, and we'll mark it for future competitions. Okay. And our chairman is going to take over now.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the first photo competition of the season, which is a people competition. Our people competition chair is Jackie Sieski. She unfortunately cannot be here tonight because of some family things. So I'll be filling in. And so please bear with me. This is the first time I've been running everything competition-wise, and I will definitely make some mistakes. So you'll be along for the ride for that. Anyhow, tonight's judges, we got three fantastic judges. One new judge that we've never had before, which is Joanne Frechetta. I am sorry, Joanne, if you were watching this. I will butcher your name if you didn't notice. Joanne is a native of New York. Let me try that again. A native New Yorker, Joanne Frechetta, developed a passion for photography when her father passed on her 1940s Leica onto her when she was a teenager. She has been documenting the world around her ever since. Joanne is a fine art photographer who specializes in urban and street photography. Architecture is a particular interest of hers. Joanne's images of architecture reveal essential structure and underlying patterns of her subjects through her exploration of shape, form, and light. Street photography affords Joanne the opportunity to study people and their relationship to the surrounding city. Joanne has exhibited in galleries and art shows in New York City, Boston, Rome, Italy, Glasgow, Scotland, New Jersey, and Martha's Vineyard. Her work is in numerous private collections. She has also co-curated shows in New York City for professional women photographers. In addition, Joanne is a member of Martha Vineyard Art Association. You can visit her website at joannefrechetta.com. That's how you spell her name. Right up on the screen there. And you could also check out her work on Instagram at Joanne Frechetta. So basically her name, no space, and put an @ symbol in front of it. Joe Applebaum is our other judge. He's been a long-time judge for us. Joe is a retired photography art teacher who spent most of his career at Brecksville Broadview Heights High School. During just 1 year, he realized that he examined about 50,000 images on proof sheets and over 2,500 matted images during that year. He has spent a career trying to help students understand what makes photography good. He has several students who are now working in the field, including some who have had their journalism images presented in the New York Times, and one student recognized with an Emmy nomination for her work on videos, or for her video work on The Deadliest Catch. Joe Applebaum has been a photographer for 4 years, participating in many shows and contests, and has shot weddings, parties, and portraits for years. And our third judge was actually not supposed to be Nancy Ballack. We were supposed to have somebody else, but unfortunately they did not. They were not able to judge for one reason or another, and I really don't know what that reason is. It doesn't matter. Nancy is a superstar, and she came in literally today at noon and started judging. So she really saved the day for me. I greatly appreciate that. Anyhow, Nancy is a former art teacher who has been enjoying numerous artistic adventures. Late in life, she took many college film and digital photography courses and found her true artistic passion was behind the camera. Uh, Nancy joined CPS in 20. Ugh, my goodness, I suck at reading. I don't know why I'm up here. Anyway, we will continue. Sorry, Nancy. Balak joined CPS in 2007 and has had several served on the board and as a competition chair. She has conducted photography and software workshops and is an environmental portraiture instructor for the fundamentals classes. For the past 5 years, she has been the photographer for Hale Farms and Village. Portraiture and landscape are her favorite portrait genres. Thank you for bearing with me. With that, we're going to move on to the people competition. I believe we will be commenting on all images. Oh, okay. So, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, so what's going to happen is Mike will read the score. Actually, usually we do it after the comment, right? Okay, with that, we're going to continue. Mike, you do have people, though? Oh, here it is.
Yes, I do.
Okay. Yeah, we're just going to go through the people, and then we'll take a slight break so we can print out the actual scores for the other one. Sorry about that, folks. Once again, small hiccups. We'll get through it. It's all good.
Mike, we ready?
Go
I'm
for
ready,
it.
yeah.
Okay, here's Joe's comment. The colors are striking in this image. When shooting a group of people, it is important. Putting people like this in maybe two lines, at least with some behind the others, would work better. Make sure people are not facing you straight on. Have them stand almost sideways with one side facing you.
The image is called African Queen and Her Court by Fran Marino, 19 points.
The softness of this image and the subject's smile drew me right in. I wonder what she is thinking. I also like the tilt of her head. The bright red of her shirt is a bit distracting. You might want to desaturate it a bit. I also wonder what the image would look like in black and white.
The image is called Concession Lady by Marge Brady, 21 points.
Nancy says, this is a fascinating photo of this artist as he is studying his subject. The intensity of his face as he applies his watercolors in this peaceful setting is relaxing, even for the viewer. I found it fun to watch his painting in progress and all of his painting supplies lined up on the rock wall. The tree branches behind this artist creates a nice separation between the busy street and the artist. My only suggestion, if the maker agrees, is to tone down the exposure and contrast on his face a little bit. Other than that, the maker's exposure is nicely done.
The image is called Dutch Painter by Hugh Thomas, 21 points.
Joe's comment. Good job of getting stop action in a sport. But with sports photography, you need to capture important moments. This one needs either just before or after this moment when one of them is kicking or getting in control of the ball. Good focus and color rendition.
The image is called Extra Effort by Paul Gilia, 23 points.
Joanne said, "You captured the movement here really well, and the shallow depth of field works to draw the viewer's eye right in. I do find the many colors of the people in the background a bit distracting, but the subject dress is so colorful and beautiful that I don't think it would be the same in black and white. Nice job."
The image is called Feet on Fire by Susan Bestel, 22 points.
Nancy says, my first thought when I saw this photo was, wow, look at that. What a great capture. The maker's shutter speed was fast enough to get a fabulous in-focus image, but still slow enough to show motion of the propellers. I would have loved to have seen how the female ended up on the top of this wing. The exposure as well as the focus are spot on. My kudos to the maker. Very interesting photo.
The image is called Flying High by Susan Bestel, 25 points, second place.
Joe says, "I'm not a huge fan of concert photos. They seldom interest me unless I know the band, and even then, not always. But I will say the moment caught here with the light hitting on the way it is works very well. Capturing his facial expression and the moment his stick hits the cymbal is nice too. Nice job."
The image is called Galen Walling Green by Dan Sandy, 23 points.
This is such a strong street portrait. It certainly makes me wonder what the celebration is for, and nice job on not oversaturating the colors. You might try adding a small vignette to see if it works. But overall, this is an excellent photo. Nice work.
The image is called Greensboro Solstice Festival by Melanie Plummer, 25 points, second place.
Nancy says, what a fascinating photo. The play of the shadows on the back wall in comparison with the colorful gentleman in the foreground is wonderful. The composition could not be more perfect. The two bird cages plus the shadowed bird cage are perfectly placed within the photo. And oh, that sweet pup off to the left-hand side of the photo is ideally placed too. The textured back wall and the cobblestone street add to the impact of this spectacular photo. The pleasant expression on this gentleman's face is so welcoming, and his bright red shirt complements all the other colors in the scene. One can't help but smile when looking at this photo.
He's Got His Hands Full by Jackie Sieski, 26 points, first place.
Joe's comment: "There's interesting light and use of color in this photo. Not sure what you were trying to show here, but the fake mustache is quite distracting. The cigarette on top of the bottle is also a problem with placing. Take the bottle stopper out and put it on the table. Get rid of the light. It hurts the balance of the image. Put an ashtray if you feel the need to have a cigarette in the image, and make the balance then work better."
The image is called I Wouldn't Trust Him by Fran Marino, 22 points.
Joanne says, "You did an excellent job of capturing the stop action. Her pose is perfect. It would be fun to see a series of 3, the ball coming at her, ball making contact with her racket, and her expression seconds after she hit it."
The image is called I'm Gonna Smack This One by Joseph Miko, 22 points.
And Nancy says, my first thought when looking at this dramatic photo was what shoes was she wearing to be able to climb up on top onto these rocks and then stand there so calmly as the photographer was taking this shot. Her sense of balance is impressive. The texture and stunning gray colors of the boulders behind her accent beautifully the brilliant red of her flowing dress. Her creamy skin tone and dark hair stand out well against the background. This photo is perfectly exposed and composed. I really like that the photographer positioned the model off to the left-hand side of the photo rather than place her dead center within the frame. The added greenery on the right adds even more visual interest to the already impactful background. Love the pose, gorgeous photo.
Iceland on the Rocks by Dave Korosek, 25 points, second place.
Joe's comment? Good use of color and light in this image, but you are confusing the viewer with what's more important to you, the girl getting tattooed or the tattooing. I would crop this just above her elbow bends and tight on the arm on the right side of the photo.
Ink Master Angels by Joe Smith, 25 points, second place.
Joanne says, I love the monotone here. It keeps from being, sorry, I'm going to start over. I love the monotone here. It keeps from being distracted by any color he may be wearing. I'm sorry, it's hard to read it. The image is sharp, and I also love that he is not looking at the camera. It makes a more interesting image. You might try a soft vignette to bring down the highlights of the object. In the middle, far left of the image. Overall, excellent.
London Street Performer by Jill Zabka, 25 points, second place.
Nancy says, oh, to have such beautiful eyes and such long eyelashes. This is such a sweet photo. The maker of this portrait chose to only include the facial features of this cute baby, which is perfectly okay. As viewers, we know that the baby has more hair on the top of her head, but the maker wanted us to hone in on her eyes and the softness of her skin. Perhaps, if the maker agrees, cropping in a bit tighter to only include the baby's eyes, nose, and mouth could be interesting too. That might be something for the maker to experiment with in the future and then determine if they like the photo better. It is always fun to experiment.
The image is called May by Kim Wasilewski, 23 points.
Joe's comment? This is a great portrait. The guy has a lot of interest in his face. The editing is very good too, except I think the whites are a bit blown out, and I'd like to see some burning around the smoke so it would stand out a little better.
The image is called Major Kirk by Dave Saborik, 25 points, second place.
Nancy says, this is a wonderful portrait. The viewer's eye goes directly to the gentleman on the left, while the gentleman on the right is out of focus.
It's not the right
Am I
image.
right? I'm sorry. I see that. Excuse me. Okay. The subjects here are very interesting. I can certainly wonder what the occasion is. I also like the vignette and the softness of the background. I do wish that the subjects were a bit less soft and more in focus, but nice work.
Meet My Fairy Godmother by Melanie Plummer, 19 points.
Nancy says, this is a wonderful portrait. The viewer's eye goes directly to the gentleman on the left while the gentleman on the right is out of focus. One can tell that the background is colorful and busy, but the maker used a shallow depth of field to soften the effect beautifully. The overall color, toning, and exposure are subtle and visually pleasing. The expressions on both of these men are friendly and welcoming. One would want to stop and chat with them. I really like that the maker chose to crop in a little closer, even cropping off the top of the gentleman's head on the left. The maker found this gentleman's face to be intriguing too. Fantastic portrait. I love it.
Men in Khartoum by Wally Nell, 23 points.
Joe says, this is a very good photo. Nice composition, and I like how the color is so muted, other than the lights and the reflectors. I don't really see it enough as a people image. It's got to be more personal of an object if you want to tell the story about a person in it. This is more about a means of transportation.
Morning Commute by Terry Arthur, 19 points. Microphone. Can't hear, the microphone's off.
Okay, sorry. The image certainly has me wondering about your subjects. But the sharpness of the subjects and the softness of the background really work well to draw the viewer's eye in. You might want to try cropping a bit there on the bottom foliage. I find that to be a bit distracting, but excellent work.
No Riding Hood Needed by Belinda Prince, 24 points, third place.
Nancy says, shooting concerts has many, many challenges, including the ever-changing lighting, chaotic movements of the musicians, and the heads of raucous fans bouncing around within your frame. This shot is an amazing capture. The angle and perspective of the maker's positioning demonstrates the power and intensity of this musician. The backlighting isolates this musician from whatever is going on behind him. I love the flowing hair too. Very powerful capture. The maker did an excellent job of photographing this image.
Power Stance by Dan Sandy, 23 points.
Joe's comment, this is a nice, intense image of someone at work. I like to see some more light and a tighter focus. Some could be taken care of with dodging, especially to give some definition to the background around him. I also would crop off more of the arm on the left. It doesn't help the image's composition and can distract from what's going on.
Precision Inked by Joe Smith, 25 points, second place.
The angle, this is Joanne, the angle and the placement of the subject in this image is interesting. I wonder if you tried this in black and white. I think that might keep the focus on the subject and keep it away from any distraction. The red in the background might cause.
Kat in Yemen, by Wally Nell, 22 points.
And Nancy says, what an incredible capture. This portrait took my breath away. The first thing I noticed was the beautiful catch lights in his eyes, and I loved the faraway expression on his handsome face. His beautiful warm skin tone really stands out against the stark white of his shirt and the mast in the background. The maker did an excellent job of maintaining the exposure in the white shirt, creating shadows and texture without blowing out areas. I can't take my eyes off of this young man's face. It is captivating. I sincerely hope that the maker gave a copy of this portrait to this young man. He would treasure it. My compliments to the maker. I wish this portrait had been mine to shoot.
Sailing the Nile by Bill Keaton, 25 points, second place.
Joe says, this is a really nice snapshot of kids. It might be cropped in a bit too much. Might lighten the hair a bit on them also. Also a little less cyan in the color.
Siblings by Mike Kopkis, 19 points.
Joanne says, nice to see that camera at work. This image certainly makes me wonder what is so interesting about the subject she is focusing on, and who are the people surrounding her. I would consider bringing down the whites just a bit. Also, I would love to see this image in black and white. Nice job.
Skylight Shooter by Hugh Thomas, 19 points.
Nancy's comment, ow, that had to hurt. I love this photo, even though it made me wince. If you look closely at this woman's expression, you can kind of see her wincing slightly too. While the tattoo artist is concentrating on his fabulous work, the female is looking at her phone. Her body tattoos are incredibly beautiful, and it was fascinating to see all of the colorful work done on her body. This photo has such interest everywhere. This is an exceptional storied shot and beautifully composed. The exposure is perfect. 2 thumbs up for me. I can't stop looking at it.
Tattoo by Dave Saborik, 22 points.
Joe's comment, an interesting job of framing the subject, but she's too centered in the photo. You should crop from the top and a bit from the right side of the image.
The Decision by Terry Arthur, 22 points.
Joanne says, I love that it's hard to see. I love that I feel this image tells a story. Your exposure is perfect. The subjects are sharp and the background is muted, which is nice. Excellent work.
The Protector by Eric Botsky, 24 points, 3rd place.
Nancy says, it looks as if the maker of this photo took their chances while trying to capture this man's portrait. He doesn't look too happy about it. His expression is priceless, if not downright scary. I'm curious if the maker used a painterly type editing process. It creates some interesting effects on the folds of his clothing and adds a thick, curling look to his goatee. I love that one can see the individual stubble on his face. He has some great catch lights in his eyes. Even the lighting works well with the overall feeling of this photo. Great intense portrait.
The Sheik by Mike Kopkis, 23 points.
Joe says, good capture of a moment in time. I would say the darks are a bit too dark and the colors look oversaturated. His skin tone doesn't look correct at all.
The Skater by Joe DiStefano, 19 points.
Joanne says, I love this. From the expressions on all 3 subjects to the strong sense of place. Cuba? The lighting on this gentleman is very good. You might want to consider adding a slight vignette, but overall, very good work.
3 Amigos by Jackie Sieski, 25 points, 2nd place.
And Nancy says, this musician really loves his music and this portrait shows it quite clearly. The posture, wild hair, and the intense expression on his face can't help but to make the viewer smile with appreciation for the joy this performer has for his work. The addition of the color posturization in post-processing only adds to the overall exuberant feeling of this musician's performance. The maker made a good choice to come in close on this particular photo. It gave this photo a more personal touch. Wonderful portrait.
Thunderstruck by Bill Keaton, 21 points.
Joe's comment. Nice job of noticing both the people and the patterns. Seeing the colors also was well done. I'd like to see the photographer step back a foot or maybe down just a bit more. But overall, a good job of seeing.
West 25th Street Rapid Station by Glenn Petranek, 21 points.
Joanne says, well, I certainly wonder what this little girl is thinking. Your composition works, and the writing on the bags and the stands give a sense of place to your image. Very nice. I would love to see the image after this. Does she reach out to the bag?
Young Chinese Shopper by Richard Ader, 21 points.
And Nancy says, it looks as if the maker was right on the field when this shot was taken. Excellent exposure, timing, and focus. A baseball photo does not get much better than this. Perfect shutter speed to capture the action, too. What I found interesting about this photo was how the maker got the shallow depth of field to subdue the busy background. Then the maker converted the background to black and white so that he or she directed our attention directly to the players. This is a great action shot and well done by the maker.
A Swing and a Miss by Eric Botsky, 23 points.
Joe's comment. Found an interesting person, and I think black and white was a good choice. There's no connection to the subject. Also, there isn't enough of a value range in the darker areas.
Boulder Fixture by Brian O'Riordan, 23 points. Microphone.
Joanne says, I find this to be a very powerful image. I can almost feel the weight of that burlap bag on my back. There is a nice texture here, too. You certainly have created a story with this image. I would consider a little cropping on the right where there is a little detail on the building.
Chinese Laborer by Richard Ader, 24 points, third place.
Nancy says, the intensity of this portrait really shows through in this photo. The water drops add to the overall in-your-face attitude of the subject. I'm curious, was the young woman swimming? The maker did a really good job of capturing her if she was swimming toward the camera. The exposure is really good, as is the focus. I was impressed by how nicely her eye makeup stayed on while she was swimming. Mine won't even do that in hot, humid weather.
Fierce by Kim Wasileski, 24 points, third place.
Joe says, this is a really cute image. And because her expression is so focused, it comes off differently than what viewers expect when looking at a photograph of a child. I would suggest bring the white down a bit in the hat. Try to darken the arms in the background, and the face has a bit too much yellow in the skin tones.
Little Edith by Joseph Miko, 22 points.
Joanne says, your composition and exposure are perfect. I also love the light coming through the bird's wings. The image is sharp. You have definitely created a story here. I immediately wondered what is happening. You might try bringing the saturation down just a bit, but then again, maybe not. Excellent work.
Owl and the Butterfly by David Korosek, 23 points.
Nancy says, "This is such a beautiful, serene sunset photo. The placement of the two people in the lower right side of the photos is perfect, and the maker captured them with their backs to the camera is so nice. The viewer can seem to enjoy that gorgeous sunset right along with the couple without interfering with their concentration. The rocky cliffs along the left-hand side and stunning texture and interest to the dramatic shoreline. The subtle sunlight on the top of the rocks is beautiful. I have two minor suggestions if the maker agrees. One, I feel that the photo is slightly overly sharpened, and two, the maker might think about darkening the rocks at the bottom right of the photo. My eye wants to go directly there since it is the lightest part of the photo. This is such a gorgeous, peaceful photo."
Sunset on the Edge by Joe DiStefano, 20 points.
Joe's comment. You caught a good portrait using good lighting. Looks like one front light and one in the background, which nicely separates his hair from the background, though the right side of the photo could be lightened a bit, especially by the shoulder. I like that his head is straight up, but I don't like with the arm also being straight up. I'm not a big fan of hands by or on a face in a subject. More often than not, it doesn't look that natural for the person posing. But if you are having them both, then you should avoid a straight line like this.
Troy by Kent Hill, 23 points. That
We're
concludes
going to
the,
take just a small break as we print out the scores for the pictorial competition. All right, we're going to get things started here in a moment. We might actually be on an abbreviated schedule based on the fact that there are going to be fireworks tonight.
Are we commenting on all the images or?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, the judges spent the time to write the critique, so we're going to do it.
Okay, it's fine. I just didn't know.
Thank you for asking.
They had a pro team set up. Climb up on the rock. I'm gonna zoom in and get a shot. The black sand beach with the sea steps, bring us in. This is better. We had a brief.
All right, we're going to get started.
I see that.
Who was the last?
I'm supposed to play Joanne.
Yep, you're good.
Okay. Joanne says, this image is incredibly sharp. It also makes the view look closely. In the future, you might want to focus on a smaller area of a subject with many components.
Is that a no comment image or?
These are no comment. So
Okay.
there's no comment until right here. So once we get to that, then we'll.
Okay, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, sorry about that. That was a mistake on my part.
So
The
I-
first couple images are going to be no comment. And then Mike will indicate when we do actually start. So,
Okay, so I will read the title and the maker and the score. Okay. So A Shy Sunflower by Catherine Kengott, 23 points. After the Flood by Jerry Pano, 26 points, second place. An Early Morning View by Jill Zepka, 25 points, third place. Appalachian Plateau by Jerry Pano, 19 points. Bangkok Children by Kent Hill, 20 points. I have a hard time reading this. Busker by Jennifer Gaba, 21 points. Close and Personal by Catherine Kengott, 23 points. Coming For You by Eric Botsky, 25 points, second place. Courthouse Panoramic by Joe DiStefano, 26 points, second place. Glass and Water by Chris Bosworth, 25 points, third place. Graffiti Castle by Glenn Petranek, 21 points. Hummingbird Duet by, is that dual or duet? Marge, I can't read this. Dual, okay, sorry. Marge Brady, 25 points, third place. Joy by Brian O'Riordan, 25 points, third place. Lorraine Lighthouse by Dan Hennessy, 21 points. Manchurian Tourist by Richard Ader, 21 points. Mercury Rising by DJ Casanidi, 22 points. New York City Times Square by Kent Hill, 19 points. Purple Haze by DJ Casanidi, 21 points. Ricketts Glen Swirl by Dave Korosek, 22 points. Rooster by Benjamin Williams, 20 points. Spiderwort by Belinda Prince, 25 points, second place. Spot in the Sun by Paul Gilia, 21 points. Sunset by Benjamin Williams, 17 points. The Badlands by Bob Kowaleski, 24 points, honorable mention. TV Tower Berlin by Jennifer Gaba, 21 points. Variation on a Dead Weed by Brian O'Riordan, 20 points. Wood Stork by Bob Kowaleski, 23 points. Woolly Hedge Nettle by Joseph Miko, 21 points. And then we start the comments with this one.
Joanne says, the image is incredibly sharp and it makes the view look close. It also makes the view look closely. In the future, you might want to focus on a smaller area of a subject with that many components.
1950s 7-inch Motorola TV by Dan Hennessy, 19 points.
Nancy says, oh, I love the detail and drama of black and white photos. The gentle curve of the lit hallway takes the viewer's eye back into the depths beyond. One can almost feel the presence of mystery and fear in this photo. The maker's mastery of black and white conversion is really good. There are black blacks and white whites and every shade of gray in between. It is quite rich in toning. Beautifully done, great subject too.
Abandoned Cleveland by Paul Gilia, 22 points.
Joe's comment. One of my favorite images from the overall competition. I like the composition of where all the lines lead you. The cat there is the added interest that completes the image. I would suggest bringing the whites of the post down some and lighten some of the deeper shadows like the screen and the shade of the door.
Abandoned House on Union by Glenn Petranek, 24 points, honorable mention.
This is a beautifully composed image. It certainly makes me wonder about the location. You might try bringing down the black a bit or the clarity to lighten the cloud in the upper left. I find it competing with the mountain. Nice work.
Along the Ring of Kerry by Jill Zepka, 22 points.
Nancy says, one of the challenges of capturing bird or animal photographs is to be able to get beautiful catch lights in the eyes, as the maker has done here in this photo. The face of this bird is in nice focus, as are the feathers surrounding its mouth and eye. The depth of field is much more shallow, following the bird's body as it goes into the background. The viewer's eyes will always go to the brightest part of any photo, which are the highlighted areas off to the left. They aren't too bad, but if the maker thinks it would be better, he or she might consider darkening them down a bit. I love the blue feathers on this bird. Great detail on the face.
Bashful Blue by Fran Marino, 22 points.
Joe says, capturing this image with just the available light is not easy. I think you needed to get closer or ask the person on the left to move. It would also crop from the left and the bottom. The subject is just too centered.
Bedouin Fireside by Wally Nell, 21 points.
Joanne says, this image is incredibly sharp. It also makes the view look closely. In the future, you might want to focus on a smaller area of the subject with many components.
Breakfast by Dave Saborik, 21 points.
Nancy says, sometimes a dying flower can have wonderful beauty to it, as this one does. The drooping petals capturing light and shadows perfectly, showing great depth and detail. The exposure is very good, but perhaps if the photo had a darker levels adjustment, it might make the photo a bit more dramatic, if that would be something the maker might consider. The angle of the dying flower is nicely placed within the frame and the focus is good. That the maker decided to photograph the end of this flower's life is to be commended.
Dried Daisy by Jennifer Gaba, 25 points, third place.
I'm up. Joe's comment, I really like this image. The moment caught is good. The color's interesting. Though I would like to see a little less cyan in the image. It might crop some from the bottom and maybe a sliver from the top.
Eve Said It's Okay by Belinda Prince, 24 points, honorable mention. Microphone.
Joanne says, the sharpness, detail, and closeness here are incredible. The tongue sticking out makes the image stand out for me from the many similar shots I've seen like this.
Eyewash by Joe Smith, 27 points, first place. Joe here tonight? No? Okay.
Nancy says, this is an interesting silhouette, especially the dancer's unique pose in front of the colorful background. The water reflections on the floor add movement to complement the dancer's form. The dancer's raised leg forms a perfect V that follows the lights from above. Placing the top part of her body directly in front of the blue light behind her brings out the detail in her hair and profile. One can even see the bow of her shoelace. This is a fun silhouette.
Hot Yoga in Heels by Dan Sandy, 25 points, third place.
Joe's comment, beautiful photo of a flower. I like the color and the place composition, but I would like to see the top bud not cut off.
Hummingbird Fuchsia by Marge Brady, 25 points, third place.
Joanne says, the point of view here is really interesting. I think a touch less on highlights and a vignette might help to guide the view's eye in closer.
Muir Woods Canopy by Catherine Kengott, 19 points.
Nancy says, great play of shadows and light on this bridge. The curve of the intricate railing leads your eye through the photo. It is nice to be able to look through the wrought iron to see the bridge further down the river. The maker captured exactly what they wanted the viewer to see.
Putnam Bridge Filigree by Jerry Pano, 19 points.
Joe says, I do like that you captured so many birds in this and very clearly. I might look into cropping a bit off the bottom. The top three birds on the right top keep capturing my eye, and it's too bad that they got cut off a bit. Maybe bring the blues in the sky out a bit more.
Soaring over the mosque, over the mosque, I'm sorry, Bill Keaton, 20 points.
Joanne says, you have captured some beautiful detail here. I would like to see a bit of saturation, especially on the reds and blues.
St. Paul's Cathedral by Mike Kopkis, 20 points.
Nancy says, one could spend a lot of time enjoying the intricacies that this gorgeous church has to share with the world. The detail in this photo is amazing. The maker did an excellent job of capturing its glory. This photo is quite impressive in symmetry, focus, and exposure. Beautiful capture.
St. Stanislaus Church by Susan Bestel, 21 points.
Joe says, this is a beautiful image, shot in the rain and all. I love the lights showing the rain. I might try it and get a bit more of a value range in the smoke.
Steam in the Valley by Rick Mills, 24 points, honorable mention.
Joanne says Joanne says the gesture between these two men is really nice. Between the palm tree, the clothing, and the cart, I feel you have captured a sense of place. The highlights should be brought down. They seem to be blown out on the ox and the cart, but overall, this is a terrific image.
Stopping to Say Hola by Jackie Sayeski, 25 points, third place.
Nancy says, great clouds make just about any landscape even better. And these dramatic clouds frame the top of this landscape perfectly. Love the pink in the clouds too. The warm light on the top of this rocky formation is gorgeous and shows wonderful detail. The foreground has enough interest to anchor this landscape beautifully. There are several layers to this photo: foreground, middle ground, and background. All make this photo exceptional. The maker did a beautiful job capturing this stunning scene.
Superstition Mountain, Arizona by Melanie Plummer, 24 points, honorable mention.
Joe says, great job of seeing this lighting situation. But I think we lose too much focus with the bottom 1/4 of the image. I think cropping out the left window and the bottom would really focus our eyes on the things this light is so beautifully illuminating.
The Blacksmith Shop by Benjamin Williams, 24 points, honorable mention.
Joanne says, this is a beautiful pictorial image. It is reminiscent of paintings I have seen, and your composition is perfect. Excellent work.
The Preacher's House by Bob Kowaleski, 24 points, honorable mention.
Nancy says, this plant is intriguing. The design that encircles the lone petal in the middle is beautiful and would make a gorgeous pendant. The lighting is perfect and embellishes the undulating petals. The main focus of the plant is on the left-hand side. Although the large white petal on the right draws the viewer's eye in toward the center of the plant, perhaps the maker might consider cropping in more from the right to eliminate so much of the white petal. Just a thought.
Twist of Fate by Terry Arthur, 24 points, honorable mention.
Okay, Joe Applebaum's comment is as follows. This is a really good photojournalism image. Great timing. I love the look on the face, the horse's face, and the casualness of her hands and upper body as opposed to the massive energy happening with the horse. I wish the horse's hooves weren't cropped out.
Watch Where You Are Going by Hugh Thomas, 20 points. That's it.
That concludes our competition. Before, hold on one second, Chris. Just one reminder: the rules have been slightly updated. We did include some AI stuff, so if you ever get a chance, please check out our website and check out the new rules, or at least the slightly updated ones, just so you have a clearer idea of what's acceptable and all that good stuff.
So our Mr. Keaton has confirmed they are going to be shooting fireworks off, and if you are not out of here, we're going to say by 9:15 you might get burned. Put it that way.
I think they told us that we have to be off this property at 9, like no later than 9:30. So
But they're going to go out in the parking lot and talk, and all of a sudden it's going to be 9:45.
yeah, then you're gonna
So,
have burnt hair.
Yeah.
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Thanks everybody that competed. A lot of great images. Have a good evening.
Yes. Also, congrats to all the winners.
It's not easy. You know what? I don't